Northern Ireland will elect a new parliament in early May. Not often are Michelle O'Neill and Jeffrey Donaldson as united as they are in assessing the importance of the upcoming election in Northern Ireland. When the left-wing Republican Party Sinn Féin kicked off its election campaign on March 30th at the Europa Hotel in downtown Belfast, top candidate O'Neill declared, "It's the most important election in a generation." And Donaldson wrote the same wording in the Easter greetings to the members of his Democratic Unionist party, the DUP. I still call them don't understand politics, but hey. Northern Ireland will elect a new parliament on May 5th. Located in Stormont, on a hill to the east of the capital Belfast, the House of Representatives is about to undergo a historic transformation. If the polls are right, Sinn Féin will be the strongest force in Stormont for the first time. In polls, the left-wing Republicans are clearly ahead of the DUP, which is predicted to have 19% and Sinn Féin would have 26%. For weeks, the Unionists have been warning of an election victory for Sinn Féin, trying to mobilize their regular voters. And Donaldson wrote to party members, "This election will determine the direction the country will take in the next decade." Mary Lou MacDonald, chairwoman of Sinn Féin in the Republic of Ireland, who travelled from Dublin, said at the Republican Easter Parade in Belfast last Sunday something similar. "Ahead of us lies the decade of opportunity," an allusion to the past so-called decade of centenary celebrations. The Irish Revolution lasted from 1913 to 1923. It ended with the victory of the counter-revolutionaries in the Civil War and the partition of the island. "The past is over in Northern Ireland," MacDonald said to her supporters. Sinn Féin now sees an opportunity to reverse this division. The party is the dominant force on the nationalist side. The moderate Nationalist Social Democratic Labour Party, the SDLP, is in the polls at 11%. In recent years, the party has also been able to rise to the strength of Northern Ireland's Brexit opponents, so it can hope for votes from liberal Unionists from the urban middle class. Their representatives are not in favour of Irish reunification. However, the chance of becoming part of the European Union again is more important to them than staying in the United Kingdom under Boris Johnson. In her speech at the Easter Parade, MacDonald therefore stretched out her hand. "The British government has failed you. Follow this path with us so that all of Ireland can be brought back into the European community." The rhetoric seems to be bearing fruit. The party could soon appoint head of government in Belfast and Dublin. And then she promises a referendum on reunification. The Irish Republican Socialist Party, the IRSP, which is contesting the parliamentary elections for the first time and has proclaimed the Yes to Unity campaign, promises the same. The party has fielded candidates in Belfast and Derry, trying to draw attention to the housing crisis with social demands. Because of the foreseeable victory of Sinn Féin, however, the election campaigns of the other parties, are rather meaningless overall. Sinn Féin promises a return to the EU through reunification. The Unionists are demanding the opposite. Get rid of the so-called Northern Ireland Protocol, which introduced elements of an EU external border between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK, and no referendum, of course. However, the Unionist camp is increasingly divided. The moderate Ulster Unionist Party, the UUP, is polling at 13%. The radical traditional Unionist voice, the TUV, accuses the DUP of not taking a firm enough stand against the Northern Ireland Protocol. So far, they only have had one MP in Stormont. Polls show them between 4 and 12%. In addition, the former Unionist, now Liberal Alliance Party, can expect 16%. Trotskyist groups are also anticipating electoral successes in Belfast and Derry, with individual seats likely to go to Green and independent candidates. However, it's still uncertain whether Parliament will be able to function after the elections. The Unionist parties DUP, UUP and TUV have announced that they intend to boycott Parliament if Sinn Féin wins the election and appoints the head of government. And that shows once again what these parties think of democracy and voters. Absolutely nothing. So DUP, UUP and TUV only care for themselves and nothing else. and I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.